Welcome to this week's vlog. Sue and I and our family first came to live in Doncaster in the year 2000. We moved from Sheffield, which was a city, to Doncaster, which was a town, a kind of market town. And we stayed here for 12 years and then moved down to Leicester. We stayed there for 8 or 9 years, and then I retired and we moved back to Doncaster about 5 years ago, I would guess. And still, when we got back, it was still a town. But in the year 2022, Doncaster stopped being a town and became a city. Now, they used to say that cities always had to have a cathedral. Well, we don't have a cathedral. We have a minster, but not a cathedral. Anyway, Doncaster is a city. Sue and I were in the city this morning collecting something from one of the local charity shops. And as we were leaving the city, we came to a red light and stopped, as you do. And in front of us was a council van, City of Doncaster council van. And it had the emblem of the council on the back of the van, and underneath the words, "Be steadfast." I suppose steadfast is probably not a common word these days, though we know what it means, I guess. And that reminded me of the old Boys Brigade, in fact it's still the Boys Brigade motto, sure and steadfast. And I remember often singing what was known as the Boys Brigade hymn, "Will your anchor hold in the storms of life?" There's the question that the hymn poses, it's all very well when the going is easy, when everything seems to be fine, but what happens when the storms come, when the troubles hit you, when you're stressed and anxious and fearful maybe, and things are going wrong? You feel overwhelmed. What's going to happen then? Will your anchor still hold? And the wonderful, well, let me go to a different direction. That question, or that verse, or that motto, sure and steadfast, comes from the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 19, which says this hope we have, that's our hope in Christ Jesus, what he's done for us and what we have in him. This hope we have as an anchor for the soul, both sure and steadfast. So what we have in Christ, in the midst of the storms of life, the struggles and everything that sometimes hits our lives, we have an anchor which keeps us secure, sure and steadfast. I'm reminded of some words in Psalm 46 where the psalmist describes the times we might have where the storms are blowing, but in the midst of that, God says, be still and know that I am God. God in the midst of the storm, knowing his peace. And there's another verse that's relevant to this. It's 1 Corinthians, Paul's first letter to the church in Corinth, chapter 15, verse 58. Be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labour is not in vain in the Lord. So two elements to that, sure and steadfast. The first is that our hope in Christ is certain, it's secure, it's a firm foundation. God is sure and steadfast and certain, a rock beneath our feet. But the other side of it is that we're called to be steadfast, not to give up, but to press on, trusting in God, holding on to God, knowing that he is there with us and for us. So God is sure, God is steadfast. He'll never leave us, he'll never forsake us, he'll never let us down. But on our part, we are called to be steadfast in our faith, in our trust in him, even when everything appears to be going wrong. The Boys Brigade motto, sure and steadfast, and that hymn, will your anchor hold in the storms of life? We have an anchor that keeps the soul steadfast and sure while the billows roll. That's again that image of being in a boat, but we have a certainty and assurance in Christ Jesus. So there's my thought today, all coming from looking at the back of a council van in the city of Doncaster. God bless you. Thanks so much for listening today.